Hello, everyone. This is Tim, and the other day I ran a one-shot called Shadow Children, and it was based off of some ideas that I had where the characters would be abused children that have been through all kinds of just awful things, for as long as they can remember: verbal abuse, physical abuse, even kicked around the idea of sexual abuse. Just things that you wouldn't normally talk about or deal with in a campaign or one shot. So, those are some themes that are pretty heavy. And I wanted I wanted to throw like supernatural horror in there where, because of all these things that these kids have dealt with, they have an extra sort of perception of the world around them. And they can pick up on things that other people don't see, don't notice, and walk right past without even looking twice. So gateways into other dimensions and things like that. Just things that wouldn't normally happen to a person happen to these kids. And I also wanted to leave it sort of open ended where where does mental health play in all this? Are they hallucinating? Is this all just in their mind? And it was pretty cool after the one shot was ran. I've gotten actually several private messages talking about the topics of abuse and children, people that have been abused as kids, and it's sort of one of these. It's a weird topic to run a game like this because it's really hard to talk about, especially if you've been through stuff like this. And for me, this is some sort of way to get closure, some sort of way to have I guess, catharsis or a way of working through things. And it's not easy to run these sorts of games, even though like I had fun during it. So in a way, it's almost like a safe way to deal with these emotions and topics, in a way where nobody gets hurt. It's just a game. Yes, it's a game with some heavy subject matter, but there's also that layer of fantasy, the supernatural stuff, even though that is scary and horrific in its own way. And what I found when I ran the game, the one shot, that the characters also seem to be destructive and chaotic and just sort of ran amok as kids and just doing awful things themselves. And I actually thought that was pretty. What's the word? It was insightful. Kids who have been through these things often emulate that behavior. Like the whole bullies thing. They were kids that get smacked around at home tend to do that to the other kids at school. Again, these are generalizations, but some of them do hold sway. But it was an interesting one shot. I'm glad I got a chance to do it. I ran it in a rules light manner, and that seemed to go really well. I really like just like a single mechanic and just go with it, pretty free form. But I got some messages that were just awesome, talking about how they thought things were going in the game, how it affected them, what they were thinking about while they were listening to it. In the course of the game, the parents got taken away to this other place, this parallel dimension. And at the end of the game, I actually played the parents like they were upstanding, responsible adults compared to like their drug addicted, abusive, just previous versions of themselves. And it actually turned out that was the creepiest part of the game, where the children were so used to how their parents were, the shitty people that they were, that seeing them as these better versions of themselves was more horrific than anything else. And I thought it's sort of like sad and truthful at the same time. But that was sort of kind of surprised me. I didn't expect the characters to be so violent, but yeah, I really like the way that the session turned out. It was a wonderful like 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes. Again, just it's dealing with dealing with tough subject matter, but coming out the end of it, I felt some relief, or just a little bit more comfortable with my own things that I deal with, my own issues and so forth. And that made me also think that maybe I should do a video about something like this, where you can role play through things that have happened to you, and you don't necessarily even have to tell anyone what you've been through yourself, but you can just sneak things in. I've done it in the past with character backgrounds and background histories and topics that I wanted to deal with, perhaps in game. And a lot of times that didn't actually happen. The details didn't really come out in the game, but that it still sort of helped in some way. Maybe you get some sort of closure. Just that maybe I was even thinking about it, and sharing it with someone else, just in the form of like a written background. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear if you've ever tried to role play through something that happened in your life, maybe with like a fantasy veneer or a sci-fi veneer or pulp or horror, all the different genres, steampunk, what have you. What have you done, or and maybe that's even too personal. And maybe just, have you done it before? That's probably a safer question to ask. And has it helped you? Because I think for me it has. And I myself haven't been through the worst of things. I have friends that have been through things that are a lot worse than I have been through. I almost feel like being able to work through this stuff myself, I'm able to help them better. Don't know if that's the truth or not. I don't know. But, role-playing games are a learning experience. You go through experiences in a role-playing game that you don't get to go through in your own life. So, you basically, it's like adding experience points to yourself. You have these memories of things that you did through these other characters, these masks that you wear when you play a character. And I think it makes us more well-rounded people. I think it gives us more empathy towards others, and lets us more easily stand in someone else's shoes, as it were, and to maybe sort of think, what would that be like if I was in that position. But yeah, I don't know, it's kind of rambly, but I hope you enjoyed the one-shot session. I'll link to it down below. It's age restricted because of some of the subject matter, but yeah, pretty much it. I'll talk to you all later.